That's much better.
Oh, sweet. That is so cool. I just literally swiped to the side and I've got gallery view.
Oh, cool. And in the way it so we're live right now, just heads up.
All right.
Hi, Patty.
Are you guys getting any
And
feedback?
then-
Because I've got my microphone really close to my speaker.
I am
For that-
not. I think while you're playing the video, the three of us all mute our stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, just let me know. And then but
We'll wait for D-Town to get his picture right. There he is.
And then I'll do my best. Oh, I'll just do this. That's the idea right there. Put this here and put this chat over here. Okay, cool. And I can see. Oh man, why did I think about this before? Right on. So we are live. We got Conor McGregor is with us live. He's coming in via satellite from Ireland. We got the flow therapist himself, Devin James. I got my daughter is at the door. She's trying to bang it down right now.
Good girl.
So it sounded like she was inside the room. It scared the crap out of me. Yeah, this is weird shit. Welcome, everybody. It's all good. That's all the time we have today. Sorry, Dustin, time for your challenge. Peace. All right, D, take it away.
All right, guys.
All 3 Ds, so it's all good.
So I've got a challenge for us, but first I need to more or less clear something with Darren. This challenge is a result of a state that I put myself in on Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure. So I smoked a little weed and I was super high and I had a culmination of a lot of different thoughts all at once. And I wrote something that I'm going to share with you guys. And while writing it, I was inspired with a game that we're going to play, which I'll go over after I play this for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and play this now. If you guys want to mute your microphones, I'll play it. Great work. That's the suspense building. I'd like to explore a difficult truth with you. The truth that positive and negative are two separate things spun so infinitely tight together, it's basically impossible to discern one from another with the naked human eye. Consider atoms and subatomic particles, molecules, protons, electrons, with the storms that feed and flood this planet. Macro and micro present moments simultaneously existing in effortless balance with the same equation. Both sides are required for either to exist. One simply infers the other. This nuance of electrons and lightning bolts, floods and famines, translates directly to human life and love and discord. It's an abrupt truth to confront, I'll admit, but the struggles and successes of life here on this planet demonstrate the same cosmic expression. Positive is negative. Negative is positive. The seed must spin and spiral through the soil just to burst into sunlight to now be an oak tree. The human brain must struggle in the same way to generate new neurons. It's an identical dance viewed through a separate prism. This is the same with carbon steel. Forge it with fire, cool it quickly with water, force contrast, and the metal becomes harder. This universal alignment of forces is truth viewable as far as the human technology can take us, as small as we can go with the microscope, to as deep as we can get with the ever-expanding edge of the universe. The more we see, the less we know, but this truth remains a constant. Positive is negative. Negative is positive. One infers the other. Yin and yang form the circle of everything. Only we must imagine this yin and yang is actually a sphere, because a sphere is the most efficient form of matter. Observe the bubble or the sun to see this. Now hold this yin-yang sphere in your mind. See the empty space around it. See the light and the dark dancing. Visualize it. See it in your mind's eye. Appreciate its beauty. Appreciate its contrast. Understand the sphere is a metaphor at the heart of all enlightened states, at the very center of all religions, in the center of your mind, the sphere. Observe its slow spin, the fluid of light and dark, moving in harmony and never mixing. Allow the sphere to spin faster, faster and to begin to blink, faster and faster until it becomes a strobe, and even faster and faster until it becomes a burning hot light, constantly burning hotter, spinning like the storm, the fire in your mind. This is the alchemy of enlightenment. This is the tool to transform information, the sphere of everything, the universal truth that stretches infinitely in every single measurable direction. It's your power. It's your tool. Enlightenment isn't a state that's a lie. Enlightenment is a moment when we embrace this perpetual truth, when we transform turmoil into gratitude, that split second in the middle, that glorious neutron explosion with the brain. As a tiny sprouted oak tree, we are in a constant state of becoming, one moment of struggle and enlightenment at a time. And like the oak tree, if we are not growing through our struggle, we are dying through our suffering.
So you guys can unmute now. And we're going to take a strong change in a different direction.
Okay.
Dude, that was awesome,
it.
bro.
Nice
That
job,
was
man.
awesome.
You're forgiven for partaking, Dustin.
Uh-oh. Forgiven.
I said you're forgiven for partaking. You redeemed yourself.
So the challenge that I've got for us today is an exploration into that truth, that positive and negative are equal partners in this cosmic experience, that every sun and every star and every planet, we all share in this cosmic experience, that these things are partners and we need them both. And without one, we don't have the other. So I've got a game for us to play that I think will support us in deepening our understanding of these truths. The game is simple. The rules are simple. However, the magnitude of it's a bit complicated. So I'll lay it all out for you, and then we'll break it down one at a time. And then I'll post this in the group so anyone who wants to tag along is invited. The game. Each day we can score from 1 to 4 points. This is a 7-day game. There's only a single event that can qualify per day. Miss a day completely, you lose, and the game is over for everyone. How to score. Point 1 is earned by doing something that makes you uncomfortable. Point 2 is earned by doing something that you were scared of. Point 3 is earned by doing something you've never done before. Point 4, sorry, I need to change that. Point 4 is doing something that you don't want to do. So I'm going to break these things apart so we can kind of digest them a little bit. But you can earn as many points as you want, or you can earn as few points as you want. So for example, doing something I've never done before can be its own thing. I don't have to fill any of the other criteria. I can do all 4 of them by doing something that I'm afraid of, something that I'm uncomfortable, something I've never done before. See, I got to change that before I keep saying it incorrectly. Don't. Or something I don't want to do could be something as simple as taking the trash out, for example. So the amount of energy is very scalable. However, you can go big also. Now, we are in competition with each other, but the idea isn't to win. The idea is for us to occur as many points as possible. we are allowed to copy each other. So if Darren has a great idea and shares it with me, I'm encouraged to do that, because our goal as a team, as a group, is to occur as most points as possible. However, we're not able to repeat things. So if I do something once, it's been done, and anyone else can repeat it their one time, but that's it. And what's the other thing? Any questions?
So you can do, can you do just one? Can you do just one of those things per day?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a single
it's-
event. So one event can count for every category, or
Mhm.
only one category, and you can choose.
Okay.
It's infinitely easy or quite difficult.
Yeah, for sure. And okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in. Easy. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to hang out with Dustin again. I got a bunch of points today already. You know,
Now, so
it's so funny.
Hey man,
like,
I've never done this either. So
Yeah.
there you go.
There you go. No, it's so funny because like for the last few days, when you're like, I'm bringing this challenge, I've been legitimately nervous.
I was
It's so
nervous.
funny. And now that you're
It's
here,
been-
it's like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And it's exactly the same thing. It's funny because it was exactly the same thing that I was scared of, is the fear of the unknown. So I think Katja, an example would be, so Dustin and Darren are both Wim Hof instructors, and they do ice baths and showers all the time. I will be taking an ice cold shower tomorrow morning for my thing. That's what I'm going to do. And it's funny because I didn't want Dustin to bring to the challenge, say, hey, we're doing ice baths all week long. Because I was like, I don't want to be told to do that, but this is cool because now it's an opportunity for me to choose into the exact thing that I didn't want him to say, you have to go do this. So that's my paradigm. I hate being told what to do. I really, really hate it. And so Dustin is super smart and he knows me. And this is probably his plan the whole time, to get me in the cold showers. So it is what it is. Kasha, does that make sense? So that's, yeah. And so for that would be something new, something that I hadn't done, something that I don't want to do, and something that's uncomfortable. So that will be 4, 7, 9. That'll be 10 total points for me tomorrow.
each one is worth 1, 2, 3, or 4. You can earn 1 point for each.
Got it. So tomorrow I'll get 4 points. Okay.
And that will be done. Then you'll have to step it up after that.
Yeah, easy. Take a hot Coles bath.
So the point of this, in what I hope to realize more thoroughly, is that my prejudgments aren't an effective tool at making decisions, and not necessarily an effective tool at processing information. So by doing things that make me uncomfortable, by doing things that make me scared, by doing things I don't want to do, and by doing new things, which I thoroughly enjoy, actually, I hope to better understand the relationship between positive and negative, and understand the relationship that those things have with each other. Because I think if I'm scared and if I don't want to do it, if it makes me uncomfortable, I think it's really, really easy as a human to label that as a negative thing, when in fact, it might not be.
Yeah, I mean, even if you do it and you don't want to do it, and just the fact that you did it afterwards, it's positive because you did it.
Mm-hmm.
which connects the pros that you just shared with us of positive is negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we get to
And vice versa.
examine that this week, Monday on day. We get to examine that this week. And we're going to be posting in the Inner Circle group what we did, and anything you want to add to that, gentlemen, in regards to your experience with it, or the beta data or the metadata of it. It's all invited. Or if you just want to type 6 words, did this, I'm out, bitches. That also is totally great.
So
Can
I
I-
will
can
go for it.
Wrong thing that I noticed today is exactly a year ago today, I did my first Facebook Live. You two, Darren and Ryan, probably remember when I lost my wallet and my bank account was negative. It ended up being $12,000. that was my first Facebook Live, and I was terrified to do that Facebook Live. And now I'm doing this Facebook Live, not terrified at all. And I'm putting a nice challenge in the air to people that I love. So I'm super excited.
Cool. So anybody who's watching right now, and I think we'll talk about this for a few more minutes, and then we'll probably get on to whatever else we're going to get into today. I will, if you're not in First Wakeups Inner Circle, I am linking it into this. Nope, that's the wrong thing. It's already linked in the comments, or just Facebook search First Wakeups Inner Circle and add for the group. I will make a post right after this I will attempt to link Dustin's audio that he just shared, and then I will link that as an announcement for the next week, and all of the next week, all your day 1 through day 7, we're just going to post it on there. It's going to be like a 4 million comment post.
Yeah.
So just do that for the entire week. And so if anybody wants to play,
on the same thread, just so I understand.
Say that one more time.
You want to use the same thread, just so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, we'll just use the same thread for every day. Is that okay? I
No,
think that's cool.
perfect.
It keeps it all in one spot, and it keeps it at the top of the page too. So the 4 of us are at least going to participate. So whoever else is, and then also, Dustin, if you want to go live, this is anyways. I don't know who this isn't shared the group at all. We could do a live in the group later this evening or something to re-explain the rules to people who may not be here for this live video.
Totally.
So,
Anyone has any questions about it, they can reach out to any 4 of us, because I think we have what we're doing.
yeah, for sure. Share this group right now. All right, cool. What's going on tonight? How's everybody doing? Dustin getting high. Did I chance
Got a little high once, okay?
No, this is perfect. So it's funny too, because like we could judge, and I guess we could just stick to this conversation, because it could be negative, right?
Real easily.
Yet, if you hadn't done that, we wouldn't be here doing this right now, which I'm stoked about. I really am. And for me, it's really interesting that my negative judgments of self, fear, I don't know what he's going to come up with, is going to involve ice cubes in my body like all week long. Like that's what I'm literally thinking about. And then now it's like an unknown thing. Like I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. Like I'm going to take a shower, but then like, what am I going to do the next day? What am I going to do the day after that?
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just like, it's like that fear and excitement, like being 2 different sides of the coin. Like it's when it's being presented to me in some secret fashion, it's like, as if I'm out of control. It's like me, I'm in, like have this picture painted that I'm out of control. But really it's just like, and then as soon as you hand it to me, it literally doesn't change shape. But now there's this perception that I'm in control of this now, and I get to pick whatever you want. But Darren's going to bring some shit tomorrow that I'm like, oh, fuck, now I got to do that Wednesday. You know?
By the way, this is an inverted pyramid scheme. Totally.
For sure. Oh man, it's the freaking best description ever. That's gonna be my new logo. It's gonna be how do you say Ponzi backwards? So, I don't know.
My new business name. I'm buying the URL right now.
Nice. Ezomp.com. Oh, yeah, man. That's good stuff.
So what's up, man? What's been going on since last week? Anything new or exciting?
Let me think. Sometimes this stuff it like squishes together, and I don't know, man. Stuff's really good. McCara and I had a couch date last night. We do like on Sundays because we got kids, and they go to bed in like 8 o'clock, and so it's like we don't get to go out to the movies or dinner unless we hire like 4 babysitters. And so for reals, on our anniversary, we hired 2 babysitters. So one for the big one for the little one. Anyways, so it's like this really cool acknowledgement. Like we're sitting on the couch, we're having this amazingly deep conversation, and I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, like our conversations are reflecting the kind of conversations we have here. They're really deep. They're really digging into stuff. And then it's like, it kind of hit me. It's like, oh man, we used to do this. Like what happened? And then it kind of hits me like Pippin's 3.5 months old. And then McCare was pregnant for 9 months, and her pregnancy was challenging. And so it was just kind of like, I want to let this be known. It's just like really, really, really honor your cycles, whether they're your own or whether the cycles of your relationship or the cycles of the moon or the cycle of whatever your cycles are. If maybe you cycle like with tight shorts on and a helmet, It's like honor that too. And so stupid. Anyways. Oh man. But it was just cool to like realize that we're in this new space. And then before we're connecting by growing this human, and now the human's out and it feels normal. And we're like, okay, cool. Like, what can we grow now? And it's like, now it's our connection together that gets to grow again. And so it's just really cool. I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. Yeah, that was my like biggest win for the week, was just like that. Oh, we're in a new space. We're in a new part, or new piece. So
New wave.
mhm.
Nice. So we've got a new face in the group, and you said flow therapy. I've watched a couple of your videos, and it's pretty cool, man. You want to tell me a little bit about that, Devin? I'm more interested.
So, I mean, I'm still working through it, but basically, I've kind of come to a format where it's like 3 words. I mean, I'll drop into the first Wakeups inner circle, and if somebody's like having problems, they're like, oh man, you know, I don't really know what to do, and I don't know how I feel about this certain thing. I go 3 words, take it right there, flow it out. And that's kind of been my thing. And then I'll kind of set examples by, like last week, I did one about feeling like relaxing is bad. Because I've been like, ever since I booted booze out my body, I feel like my body is always needing energy. Like that energy needed to go somewhere. So it went to music, and it went to different things to keep me on the straight and narrow and to keep going up. But now that I've been doing it for so long, and now seeing a chance for me to start pursuing a more balanced life, when there are down times, when there's times to relax, I still get edgy, and I had to write about it, and I'm like, why do I feel edgy about this? This is a part of life. Like, this is what balance looks like. But for a hustler, it's weird. It's weird.
Have you ever meditated before?
I have, and I need to get back into that.
How long is the longest you've meditated for?
Probably like deep to where I'm literally laying on my bed, and I like to get to the point where I can feel my hands go numb. Probably like 20, 30 minutes of like that hardcore deep style meditation.
Right on. So like
And
an hour-long candlelight meditation might be scary for you.
well,
Like something you've never done before.
I think I know my venture, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just throwing.
Nice segue, Dustin. I like that, dude.
Hey, man.
Yeah. No,
Are you familiar with the candlelight meditation?
No.
So it's when you light a candle in a dark room and you sit in front of it, and you put it in front of you actually, and you just watch the flame, and you breathe as slowly as you possibly can, and you just watch the flame for as long as you can, and you invite any thoughts that come in, and you release them like you're sitting on a stage, and you're sitting in front of a stage, and you allow your thoughts to drift on and drift off.
Okay.
It's a great entry-level meditation that's super powerful. It's also a way to entrain your brain frequency, because the candle pulses at a very slow pulse, and your brain emulates that pulse, so it tricks your frequency down. So it's a really effective and powerful meditation tool.
Awesome. I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Could be. I mean, it's just an idea.
Oh no, dude.
I think I'm gonna do the same thing sometime this week too. I've never done it before.
Yeah.
Not that specific style, you know.
Is Darren muted still?
Darren is muted.
The train was going by.
Fight training on over there, so it's gotta be quiet.
Yeah, I haven't done that before either. That sounds really interesting. My wheels are spinning too. It's like I'm already, and this is something I do, like patterns repeat, right? And like, I'm thinking like 3 or 4 days ahead. Like, what am I doing on Thursday? What about Friday? Friday's my wife's birthday. Do I have time to do something? Just going and going and going. So,
Dude, it literally,
you know what,
Yeah.
it
can literally
could,
take 2
though.
minutes.
Yeah, it could
literally
take 2 minutes.
And flow therapy. I've never done that either. And I've seen a couple of your examples, Devin, and it's like it's awesome, man. It's art. Like
Yeah.
wow, that just is coming out of him. It's because it's a flow, and it just starts with 3 words. So cool.
My favorite part is Gatsby in the backseat now? Where are you at?
Oh no,
That's just
no, that's the funny part.
I love that. He's there. He's just not there.
No, he's not
Yeah.
there. He's not
Yeah,
there.
that's hilarious.
But he's always see. That's what's funny is that like, so flow therapy. One person was like, you got to have like a visual element for it. You got to get people hooked. So I'm like, fuck, man, that's hard to do, especially when I'm just trying to like literally pop and drop it, dude. Like I just want to drop. I just want to stop my car and just how am I gonna have a visual element? So then I've got this painting by Milena Matic, and she did this back in like 2013, back when like Gatsby was a persona, and he still is. Hold on, I think I actually have them because I got her paintings right here. But Gatsby is this mean mugging ass fucking dude. Look at this dude. And so I put Gatsby back here half the time because this is the same voice that sits in the back of my head at 6 a.m. when it's like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? You gonna get up? Go, 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 go. That's that hustler voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he sits in the back, and I still like I fucking riff with him. I'm like, can you tell a joke? Can this face tell a joke? Can you do it? So it's actually been it's been a cool part to be like, I mean, that voice, so bringing around the negative and the positive into the yin and yang, that's still a part of me. No, and it will always be, but that part perpetuates the positive going circular.
And I think the thing that I want like people who are watching this to like really know, and like the part, and so one of the things that I love is that you take that thing that's a part of you, but you when you're in your thing creating your art, you like give it a space to be removed from you, at least like that Dustin said, for like that split second, like that moment of enlightenment, right? And it's just back here in the back. But the cool thing too is to acknowledge that hustler part of you, like it's got you to here.
Right.
You know, and like right now we're just developing different tools, and that part of me that was like scared of the unknown says, I'm not going to do this challenge. I'm not going to allow people to bring this scariness into my life. Thing creating your art like is yeah, you got to press pause on that stuff. Like that Dustin said,
Sorry,
like
hold on.
it's all good. I'll mute you. And so no, it's just important to acknowledge that those things behind you, the past, with all those parts of you have had a part in bringing you to where you are today. And so I like that you, in a way, like you make light of it, you make it funny, but it also honors it too, and which I love, which I really love.
Yeah, that voice is a bitch. I fucking hate that voice, but it's gotten me to here.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away.
It'll evolve like everything else.
Yeah.
Constant state of becoming, and you choose to grow through it. Like at the very end, if you're not growing through it, you're suffering through it. And that's the subtle difference between the two experiences, is if we become a victim and this is happening to me, or we become a responsible person that's able to respond to the situation, I'm happening to it. It's a fundamental difference in the way we view the world. And it's much easier when you're happening to the world and the world's not happening to you.
Right. Yeah, dude. You just dropped some bombs on me, Dustin, right there. Yeah.
It's just who you are, man. I mean, you're crushing it. And that drive that you have, that get up and go, that, I mean, it's rare, man. And you're treating it like it's this vice or this cross that you have to carry. It's a superpower, bro. And the more that you love it and the less that you hate it, the more it serves you. And then the more that you love it, the more you can tell it to shut the fuck up. Sit in the back seat. Dude, I don't need to hear from you right now. I'm playing video games for 8 hours. You can suck it. I'm cool. It's easier. But if you hate it, you're going to argue with him, and he's going to eventually win because you're the one losing sleep over it, not him.
Right. Right. So one thing I got to do is make peace. I think I got to hug this dude. I'm going to do something that I haven't done. And I'm going to hug this dude.
You're my fucking hero, man. Yeah.
Oh,
I love
man.
you, bro. I love you, dude.
Mm,
Give me some. Give me,
those
hey.
blue lips, man. Oh man, now it's getting weird. That's why we have this show. I
I just kissed
appreciate y'all
myself.
being- Yeah, you just kissed
Good,
yourself.
man. Little self-love goes a real long way.
It didn't hurt nobody.
Oh, man.
Quite the opposite. Made my fucking day.
Our 10,000 viewers is dropping off.
They're like, what is happening here?
No, I'm just joking. I think it's so perfect. Oh man, cool. What else you guys want to get into today? What's going on? This New Year's Day plus 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron looks like he's got something to say.
I always have something to say. It's mostly an exercise of restraint, usually. Anyway, well, it's been an interesting start of the year. I've been so anti, like, we talked about it on New Year's Eve, kind of anti New Year's resolution, which has really allowed me to resolve some things in the new year. Honestly, it like opened the space for it. The things I'm doing some new things that I haven't even thought of that just sort of came to me and I'm allowing to unfold. One of them is you guys know of the Tao Te Ching, the Chinese script. I guess it's kind of like a book of philosophy from ancient China. And Wayne Dyer did a translation of it it's called Living the Tao. And there's 81 verses of the Tao Te Ching, and I'm doing 81 days of Tao Te Ching is what I just made it up. I don't know. It might even be a thing, but that made it up for me. And I'm journaling every day on each verse, and that's all it is. I just read the verse and then contemplate it a little bit and put it on paper. And it turns out to be like a short paragraph on sort of my interpretation of what that verse is. And it's really, I've only been doing it now for 3 or 4 days, and it's interesting where my thoughts go during the day when I do construction, so a lot of the things I'm doing are somewhat mindless to me, but so I listen to podcasts and music and stuff usually while I'm doing that, and now I'm listening to my thoughts mostly, and it'll circle around, and it's really stirring up some it's confidence. I think is like building. I feel confidence building, and it's just in constant confidence in my own inner peace, and confidence in the world around me and my connection to it. I think is probably the biggest thing, like already, and I have 75 of these to go or whatever, so I'm like pretty excited about that. That's been pretty cool. And I started a new book too. I don't know if you guys have heard of what is it, Paul Selleck, I think his name is, and he's a medium psychic, and the text is channeled, so it's channeled through him from a council basically that is referred to as the guides, and this is like basically infinite wisdom flowing through him and through text, and it's just universal truth and philosophy flowing through this guy onto the page, and it is fascinating. Like it is so deep, and like I'm doing all this at the same time, so like all of a sudden I have this super spiritual focus I had no intention of starting, and I'm just allowing it to unfold, and it's really cool. Like it feels like I'm going to another level, and I don't have any idea where that is, and it's a little scary and super exciting all at the same time. So chew on that. Weird.
No, that's awesome. I like that unexpected stuff of that on New Year's Eve, the same day that we had that talk that we did this. Amber and I recorded an episode and we named it Everyday Resolutions. It was just like, instead of, just like waking up one day, like, Devin's New Year, like January 14th resolution is to love Gatsby. That didn't start on January 1st. It started today. And is like, I have an interesting thing to work with, like why, like my new resolution is to like dig into why one of my best friends bringing me a gift would made me so nervous, and it's like one of those things to just look into. And so one of the things I'm doing is I'm writing posts in the group, like day 1, day 2, day 3, and we're like, tomorrow is day 15. And is just like, and I was like, man, this is gonna be hard to write one of these every day. But it's like, I've already got what to write about just from this talk, just from the stuff that comes up. And it's like, what was my challenge during the day? Like, what did I mess up today that I could choose into tomorrow? And so it's just like all these things. And dude, I love that you're just being with yourself when normally we have a podcast or noise. Like driving in the car is one of the most challenging things for me, because most of the time I got my daughter with me, and most of the time we're listening to like Wheels in the Bus. Wheels in the Bus go round and round. So if like I can convince her, which is interesting to me to say, like I have to convince a toddler to say no music, it's like that's a good like catch me like in the moment saying that, oh, I just got to convince her this. It's like sometimes just have no noise, and like then we can just talk to each other, like a 40-year-old dude and 2.5-year-old girl talk about, I don't know, stuff. And then just to be able to be with each other instead of letting someone else shape what your mind's going to think about. And that's really cool. And I think that would be an interesting challenge for Devin. I want to say D, but it's like 3 D names here. So yeah. It may be like, yeah, just give yourself some space. I mean, I'm sure you like got in your car when you're rolling. But like one of these days, maybe take some rides and just be quiet, maybe.
Actually, I don't. A lot of my drives don't have anything, because that's when I just hammer out thoughts. That's when I go nuts. And if people would hear, like if I had my phone or if I recorded it, they'd be like, this guy's a schizophrenic. But that's how I hammer out stuff, like before I get to destinations, so that like I'm cool wherever I'm going. Even if I'm not resolved, at least it's out. It's just out.
There's this dude I'm friends with on Facebook. His name's Dave Gieselman, or he does like a live on the drive. Like he'd be rolling home from work or whatever. And he just freaking, what do you guys want to talk about? And he just talks for like 35 minutes on his way home. It's freaking like, it's genius. He's just down there every day. Like, hey, what's going on? What do you guys want to talk about? He's just driving. His glasses on, freaking rolling through California, wherever he's at. I don't know. It's a good idea.
So driving silent is actually something that I do a lot. Doing it for about 2.5 years. Pretty much as soon as I got a work vehicle, the stereo in it was very bad. And so I just kind of got used to commuting. I was commuting about an hour at the time. And I got used to commuting in the silence. And then, and living in Hawaii, I used to commute, Ryan, from Makaha to Hawaii Kai, which is the worst commute probably in the nation. It was 2.5, 3 hours of traffic both ways every day. And before that, I was a road rage driver. Intense road rage every time that I drove a car. I was yelling at someone or smacking my hand against something. And I reprogrammed myself on that fucking H1, sitting in it every single day, listening to Hawaiian music. And so I thought it was a very interesting opportunity to install another program in this space that I spend so much time in. So I started getting used to the silence. And now I went from making peace with traffic in Hawaii to I invite it, man. Traffic, I often refer to it as my Zen garden. It's where I get my deepest thinking done. It's where I can relax and really enjoy the present moment. And I just sit there and I just think. And I would say maybe 20% of the month, 10% of the month, I can get myself to cry on my way to work just by thinking. And it's not like a cry, but it's a like my eyes get watery, and it's because I'm lost in thought. And usually it's because I end up in a very huge state of gratitude, whether it's one thing or another. And if I didn't do that, if I didn't practice that, I wouldn't have gotten there. And it's a huge ritual for me now to get in my work truck and drive to work in silence and listen to nothing except myself. And that's why you see a lot of the Facebook Lives that I did before were from the car, because it's my Zen garden. It's my quiet place. It's where I can meditate and drop into a really deep state of consciousness while driving. It's pretty nice. But anyone can do that. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So if you're that guy who's road raging, turn the radio off and shut the fuck up and just listen. You're muted, Ron.
That anger's a messenger. It's something.
Call to action.
Yeah. And if you don't listen, it'll eventually kick you into the chest like Leonidas into a freaking hole. And then you'll have to deal with that and the anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
But it all goes back to the idea that we can't really judge positive and negative. It's too close. They're too similar.
Yeah.
Because that bottom of that hole that you're talking about, that you get kicked in by Leonidas, at the bottom of that hole is a trampoline. That when you hit the rock bottom and you smack the bottom, it's a springboard for you to climb up from. And it's never easier to turn around, to change directions, and when you smack the bottom. It's the easiest turning point, really. And so
for sure.
Even that is assuming you don't die, assuming you don't drug yourself into some sort of comatose or whatever. That rock bottom is that's your U-turn. Is it really bad? It's hard to say.
I think one of the scariest things is just letting yourself free fall to hit the rock bottom, to bounce back. Like, it's a freaky thing. It's a freaky thing. But once you do it, you're like, all right, here we go. Oh.
It's funny that you say that, Dustin. And Devin, but I know Dustin and Darren are familiar with this. We've all been to this thing called the PSI Basic, which is this personal development weekend. And I did this in October of 2014? Something like that. Anyways, it's like this really powerful weekend, and it's like all these realizations. And the way that I describe it best to people is that you like leave with this like mirror installed that looks at you, like you just can't get away from it. It's like always there. And so whenever I would, you get all this behavior, you notice who you really are. There's like this particular thing, this event you do on Saturday night, and like at the end of it, I was like, oh, and like this wave of realization that I was responsible for literally all of my shit, all of it. And so and that for me was kind of like that step off that thing, but it was more like I drank that stuff from Willy Wonka and I was kind of like floating down really slow. Because then it's again, for me, it's always been that, I'm still in control. I'm still in control. I'm still in control. And if I can ignore it enough and play the music loud enough, the wind that's blowing past me, I can ignore. And so, you go to Monday and then you share this thing and, I'm making positive changes. I'm climbing. It can feel like you're climbing out of the hole. But I think one of those things, I think in a way you have to hit the bottom. I think that this is the only way, and you can either do it yourself or wait for the world to do it to you, either way, which is really just the same thing. And so it was like 6 months later, I'd met McCare and like gotten into a new relationship, and 6 months later was when I finally like hit that bottom by finally it was like, okay, I'm making this choice for me. I'm making this choice for you. I'm making this choice for me. And even though these choices are all very beneficial and I'm feeling better, like, at the same time, like all these small pieces of you that are dying. Old you, no thanks, you're out, let it go. Dying. And then there's just like that one last door, and you're like holding the freaking handle, like shaking like this, and then finally open it, and then boom, and then like, man, it was like a 6 month fall for me, like hitting that bottom. Yeah.
It took me 2.5 years to even realize how I played that game.
Oh my! Oh really?
I didn't have any fucking clue at all. And so to go back to the whole analogy and falling in the bottom, I was the cartoon character that ran off the edge and was floating through the air and then realized I'm full of shit, floating in the middle of nothing. And then it was just boom for a very long time, and it was super painful. And I've talked in detail with Darren about this, and it's part of why I have a little bit of a resistance to recommending this work, because it was fucking painful. When
Yes.
I realized that I was walking on nothing, and everything that I was more or less total bullshit. And I realized that game was a huge realization. It just took a very long time because I was a watcher. And I was a critic, and I spent my life being a watcher and being a critic. And that's what I was in that game, and I didn't realize it for a really long time. I did realize it eventually.
Man.
Do you
I'm not a
guys
watcher anymore. I'm still a critic, but I'm not a watcher anymore. I'm a doer.
do you guys think that, or did you experience a point, and it may not be a definitive point, it might be sort of a point that's realized over a period of time. However, did you find a point where you realized with this, the more awareness you started to gain, like this, there's a point at which you realize even what awareness is, I think, as a human being, or maybe some people don't ever, but the awareness of self. Do you think that realizing that awareness of self, and finding out that with that awareness of self comes an equal amount of more responsibility, to yourself first and then to other people? Do you think that was part of that, like, falling off point of, because you're right, like I can, it's like you're climbing up the ladder because things are happening in your life, or I'll speak for things were happening in my life infinitely faster than they ever had before, and more powerful and more positive. Yet at the same time, as I started to gain this more awareness, and then another awareness, the responsibility got bigger too. And now what I'm carrying seemed heavier and heavier and heavier. So there's no longer these past or the old, unserving programs I was carrying. It was all this responsibility of, crap, now I have to be this way. Does that ring true to you guys at all? I don't know.
It totally does. I go back to this Eckhart Tolle idea of being aware of being aware. And so I was given the gifts of awareness through the exercises we did it throughout my time with that company. And but I was never aware of being aware. I was given lots of opportunities to learn that, but it took a lot longer. After that, once I became aware of being aware, I was able to interpret my interpretations as meaningless. And once I was able to interpret my interpretations as meaningless, I was able to learn so much from all of those interpretations instead of go down the judgment heavy backpack. The analogy's perfect, man. I mean, that was me, dude. I felt like I was drowning for like 3.5 years because I wasn't aware of being aware. I had this awareness, but I wasn't aware of it. And I think it was a nice threshold to cross.
Yes, and then that's where I would go next. Is the next phase would be what you're talking about, of being awareness, and the responsibility then gets lighter because it's like, nothing really matters. That it doesn't matter. It's these, like, everything's a lesson and everything's an experience, and
all a resource.
All I'm here to do is learn about it and keep getting better. Like, oh, that's exciting. How fun. And then the backpack is now lighter. Exactly.
It's a jetpack, if not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Propelling you
until it runs out of gas. And that happens in our life. But I think I want to use a couple of points that we've said today, and something that we talked about a few weeks ago, is that, like, when that backpack becomes so heavy, it's like that forced contrast. Like, you've adopted this thing, you're like, oh, well, now I know everything, but now I got to do all this stuff. And that's not even true. It's a bullshit lie. Like, it's just a lie. Just because I know all this stuff. And I think that when you do that, like, you realize you're forcing that contrast. It's like an opportunity to be like, oh man, what can I go contrast this against? And somehow metaphorically letting it go to feel what that feels like. And, like, if we go back to, like, the reverse Ponzi scheme, like, deep down in the root of the way we were built is like that fight or flight and that saber-toothed tiger awareness that we're constantly attempting to avoid and yet overcome all at the same time. And whether we're in the Matrix or God created us or whatever it is, or Bob Dylan and Biggie, or like on an island, like playing this game of chess and like we're the players. It's like, I think that bottom hardwire fight or flight thing is like the default that's in the system that's so powerful that it always loops back to that to remind you that, hey, you're here to experience, you're here to connect, you're here to relate, you're here to feel the weight and feel the lightness. And again, this like circles all the way back to what Dustin started this conversation with, was like that judgment. And every time you realize you're like holding on to it again, like you can just let it go.
And then you're free.
And you can like go on with your life. And then all of a sudden when something gets hard and you're like, oh, I've got it in my hand again. I didn't even realize that I picked it back up, and then let it go again. And then it's just like, how long can you not hold on to it? And then when you realize you have it, how quickly can you let it go? And I think that's like part of the game and part of the reason that this next week, the game we're going to play is going to be so interesting, because we're going to get to even dig deeper into why we picked this up, why Gatsby's lips are blue, and why does he show up when he shows up? You know, it's going to be like an interesting thing, and how we all got our own Gatsby. I'm going to get a picture like that, and I'm going to name me one. I don't even know I'm going to call him. So it's going to be, I don't know, Boromir or something nerdy. Because, you know, the Ring was trying to take him over. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, this is a cool spot. I appreciate all of the mirrors you guys bring today.
I also think that the idea of the tiny little steps, even though you're carrying the weight of the backpack and you do have these realizations, you don't have to solve everything in the back. Like, you don't have to know and carry the weight of the whole backpack. Like, you can just be like, okay, all right, I'm going to put this one thing, I'm going to set all this stuff here, I'm going to carry this, and I'm going to do it like 5 steps, and I'm going to do this stepwise. So then it's not as overwhelming as we make it seem. Sometimes I think it's like we take it all on or nothing. But when you can exist in that kind of like middle point, you're like, okay, all I got to do is step this out, step this out, step this out. And then it starts to become like tackleable.
Yeah, too. And I think, just like you said, like, you get to pick what you pull out and what you leave in. You get to, you know, you get to reach into your toolbox, be like, Gatsby, I need that hustling right now. I need you to back me up. You get to pull him out, and he's like, let's do this. He's ready to play. Like, he wants to go. And
he's
then,
he's like a Pikachu, dude.
He's freaking Road Warrior. I was gonna say Pikachu is just as badass in my opinion. No, anyways,
he's like a Pokemon. Then I'm like
a Pokemon.
Okay, bro. Gatsby, go.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's man. Today's one of those conversations where I just want to shut up and think. But I have a responsibility to our tens of thousands of viewers. I freaking love you guys, man. Anybody got anything else? You guys want to leave it there?
I think the last thing that I need to say or would like to say is we have the emotional attention span of a goldfish, and if you allow that truth to come into play, you can live your emotional experiences 90 seconds at a time. And when you get a stimulus in your brain and you have that fight or flight response, Ryan, like you've talked about, the chemicals only last 90 seconds. And the only way that the chemicals are going to be reintroduced to the brain is if we continue to perpetuate that state. So if we really choose to, we can be goldfish, we can be emotional goldfish, and we can stop the process from perpetuating when we're in that state of being triggered, whatever that might be. It's really easy to do. Allow yourself 90 seconds, allow the chemicals to go away, take a nice big power posture, stand like this for 90 seconds, breathe through your nose, and you're done. It's over. And you can transcend that experience. And then you can look at it objectively and be like, am I full of shit, or was that a real thing that I want to look at? And that's really a powerful place.
The human example is the toddler. And Ryan, you are lucky to have one in your house. She can be happy as she's ever been, and 90 seconds later, pissed off, and then
right back at it.
excited, and then sad, and then back and forth.
Great
Oh,
example.
I love toddlers. They're such a great example of how to be a human.
Yeah. I had to draw a line in the sand for myself because of the mirror she's given to me too yesterday. It was just because sometimes it's and it's all about that attempt to control for me. You hear her? Can you hear her?
Hmm.
Yeah, she's out there freaking going to town. She knows what it is to go home with friends. She's stoked about this life. And oh man, grateful for it. Scared to death of it. Afraid of it. Love it.
Hey, man.
Excited for it. Sad about it. All the things. It's awesome.
Great
Right
combination.
on, guys. Yeah, man.
That was that.
Cool.
That was that brought it back around, dude. That's that negative,
Mhm.
positive. Scared to
All of it.
death. Really grateful.
All agree. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's all of it, and it's good. Like I'm thankful for all of it too. And it's like things. One of the things that I've realized, and especially I think this is the last couple of months, like you see all these charts and pictures and stuff, and like I read the Four Agreements when I was like 22 years old, and then I read it again like a couple years ago, and I was like, like never read it before, and it's just certain things like that. And so I saw this picture, it was like anger, and it was just like pros and cons. Anger can be like Gatsby; he can get shit done, but he can also destroy things. And like depression can let you know what you're holding on to from the past. And like that can be a really good thing. Yet it can also keep you stagnant and not doing shit like ever. Like there's a positive and negative for everything. And again, I think this week we're going to prove that that's not even true and that we can't even tell the difference
And
because
so-
it's
the
so
fundamental
highly.
difference- The fundamental difference, Brian, is what you talked about as soon as I gave you the challenge. This is happening to me. I am happening to this.
Mhm.
That simple nuance where you transformed fear into excitement because you decided I'm happening to this. This isn't
I'm happening to this. Yeah,
perfect
exactly.
example of it.
Bad, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's true with any state that you're in. If you're depressed or angry or upset or whatever, who's it happening to? Is it happening to me or am I happening to it?
I'm bringing her in.
Bring her in.
Come
Do it.
You want to see your friends? Yes. Look who it is.
Yeah.
You have so much to teach us, little one.
Mm-hmm.
Hi,
Say hi,
Charlie.
Dustin.
I'm just gonna kick it. It's a quiet.
Nice.
I don't know if let me unplug these headphones. Maybe she can get some volume.
Hello.
Are you chewing gum?
Yeah.
No.
Right on.
Makes her
It's
more confident.
my speaker default. Let me turn this to something else. Speaker. There it is. Say hi.
Hi, Charlie.
Say hi, Darren. Mwah. That is Darren, and that is Dustin, and that's a Devin. And in the back seat is Gatsby.
That one.
Mhm. And that's Charlie. See, that's Gatsby. This dude looks scary in the dark, bro. He'd be mean mugging when it's dark outside.
Dude, look at this. Look at this mean mug, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right,
He gets
party people.
dark.
I got to pack up and get out of here. Dustin, if you could shoot me that MP3
Oh,
and if you want to just go, if you want to generate that post and then send me the file and I'll figure out how to link it. And then you can just do the game for the week. And no, that's brothers. And now it's broken. So we're going to leave this alone for him. Okay.
3 to the group chat, and then I'll post the rules of the challenge, the game, rather. It's not a challenge, it's fun. I'll post
Cool,
it.
man. Awesome.
Bye, guys. Thanks for
All right,
coming.
party people. Thanks. Another good week. We'll see y'all next week.
See you guys.
Peace.